When I made my video about Popcorn Sutton's final days, I promised to focus on facts. Not hearsay, not fan fiction. Facts. But if I'm going to expect that from others, I've got to do the same myself. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I got right and what I got wrong. Popcorn Sutton's fame came from Neil Hutchison's documentaries. This is the last damn run of liquor I'll ever make, and the last one. That's 100% verified. His final days were less public until Pam Sutton, his widow, began giving interviews after his death. Also confirmed, in 2007, a fire on his property revealed 650 gallons of moonshine. That part is true. It sparked the final federal investigation. In 2008, he offered to sell 1,000 gallons to a federal agent, which led to the ATF raid. They found over 850 gallons of moonshine, 3 stills, and several firearms. All of that is confirmed in court records and the case file from U.S. v. Sutton. I also said Popcorn detailed his process in his book Me and My Liquor and in interviews. That's absolutely true. I claimed that he was of Scots-Irish ancestry, which came from dncr.nc.gov, an official website of the state of North Carolina. I said he pleaded guilty in January 2009 to illegal distillation and possession of a firearm as a felon. Verified. I said his lawyers asked for leniency based on his declining health. Though there is no evidence other than this that he was sick, his lawyers did state this. The judge sentenced him to 18 months, citing prior convictions and the scale of the operation. All factual. What I did get wrong was this. I claimed Popcorn told the undercover agent during the sting that he was making his last batch and planned to quit. That is not found in any court document or sentencing record. It's narrative speculation, not fact. In This is the last damn run of liquor I'll ever make, he states this. I said Popcorn had repeated the line, "The day they send me to prison is the day I die." That quote is widely circulated, but there's no documented source confirming he actually said those words. No recording. No published interview, so that should have been labeled anecdotal, not verified. I also said Pam Sutton confirmed he told her directly he would take his own life. No source confirms she ever made that statement. What she did say in a verified interview with WATE-TV was this: he couldn't go to prison. He couldn't handle it. He'd lived by his own rules all his life, and he wasn't going to let them take that away from him. That's what I should have stuck to. I also added that he told his daughter the same thing. There is no credible source confirming this. Wikipedia does state it as fact. I should know better than to use Wikipedia as a trusted source and won't going forward. That was inaccurate. I said Popcorn took his life on March 16th, 2009, by carbon monoxide poisoning in his green Ford Fairmont. I also said there was no suicide note. The Cock County coroner, Terry Jarnagan, stated there was no evidence of foul play and that suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning was suspected. Additionally, an incident report filed by the Cock County Sheriff's Department noted that Sutton was discovered deceased in his vehicle by his wife, Pam Sutton, but did not mention a suicide note. I said he rigged a hose from the exhaust into the car. That detail is widely repeated online, but I couldn't find it in any official documents or credible news reporting. It may have happened that way, but we don't have a source, so that should have been left out or marked as unverified. Here's a big one I got backwards, and I appreciate the people who caught this. I said he was buried in Tennessee and then reinterred in North Carolina. That is completely wrong. What's verified is this. Popcorn Sutton was first buried on family land in Haywood County, North Carolina, near Maggie Valley. Later that year, Pam Sutton had his body exhumed and reburied at their home in Parrotsville, Tennessee. I said he was buried in a pine coffin he built himself. That's one of those stories you hear everywhere, but it's wrong. Neil Hutchison, who knew him personally, has stated that Popcorn purchased that coffin years earlier. So yes, he kept it in his house, but no, he didn't build it. I mentioned a grave marker that read, "Popcorn said fuck you." That stone does exist. It was photographed. I stated, the stone wasn't made for attention. It was made to send a message. Not to his fans, not to his neighbors, but to the people who had forced him into that final decision. That was my personal interpretation. And according to some credible people, that message was definitely meant for everyone. I claimed the whiskey brand Hank Williams Jr. and Pam Sutton partnered on bearing Popcorn's name was not created during his lifetime, nor with his direct involvement. This is true, but missing important context. From the Newport Plain Talk, according to Jamie Grosser, master distiller and partners with Pam Sutton and Hank Jr., I was fortunate enough to form a close friendship with Popcorn years ago. He, for whatever reason, took me in as an apprentice and showed me his way of making moonshine. He gave me his recipe and taught me the art of distilling white whiskey. Grosser said that he and Sutton formed the partnership for this company before his untimely death in 2009. According to Grosser, the fermenters, the pots, and everything needed to distill whiskey were designed by Sutton. He designed everything, said Grosser. We laid all of this out during the same time he was facing federal charges. We are now making his dream a reality. I said Popcorn Sutton was a fifth-generation moonshiner who never hurt anyone, just made liquor. That's accurate and supported by records and interviews. I said he saw moonshining as culture, not crime. That too is backed by his own words in Me and My Liquor and in interviews. I also talked about the emotional and cultural pressure he faced, the idea that the system gave him two options: prison or submission. I said he chose a third. That's also interpretation, not fact, but it's a reflection of how many in his community saw it. I stand by that framing as long as it's clear it's commentary. To recap, here's what I got right. The fire, the raid, the charges, the guilty plea, and the sentencing. His cause of death and public quotes from Pam Sutton. The court timeline, burial reinterment, and cultural context. What I got wrong. He built his coffin. False. He bought it. He told his daughter. Uncredible Wikipedia. He told the agent it was his last batch. Not documented. He used a hose. Common claim, but not verified. He was buried in Tennessee first. Backwards. And I can't believe I screwed this one up. He was buried in North Carolina first. I made some big mistakes in this video. I thank all the people who respectfully pointed out the things I got wrong. I will always strive to tell these stories with as much accuracy as possible and correct any of the things I get wrong. Thanks for watching.